Oh wow, maybe I'll film this one in cinematic. Well, hello there. I just got my hair did. I'm feeling pretty nice, so I thought I'd film a video here. Hmm. But yeah, things are going okay. Just gonna do a little kind of vloggy thing right now, off the cuff. I don't plan this or anything. Wow. But yeah, so lately I've been working on Pyro, which is a novel that I've been trying to write for a long time. It's almost done, and I'm glad because my goal was to finish it before 30. I don't think I'll be able to get it published by then. Definitely not. But even like, I just want to self-publish it, right? Like, just to put it on Amazon first would be good. And then it would really enter the beta reader stage, I think writers refer to it as. I'm not 100% sure there. But basically, so I can start distributing it and just getting it out there. Be done with this beast of a thing. Oh God. But yeah, and then also, so I've got like 2 more weeks left. I think I'm on track. I'm going to Japan in 2 weeks as well for my birthday. So it's like, the crunch time is coming. But yeah. So I've just been going through I had to separate, okay, so I'm using Google Docs to write it, and beautiful Google Docs. Got a lot of perks to using that, with the headings and everything, so you can just click to the different scenes. Yeah, and so, what can I say? At the moment, what I'm doing is I'm checking for continuity issues. So I finished my read through, and now it's like making sure that everything has, like, all of the locations that I've written in there are always the same name, right? Like Legends Tavern, it's like always Legends Tavern, and also the address I have there and the date. And now I'm sorting out the dates, like when everything happens, which is really, really tricky to do for my brain because I'm a bit slow. So I have all these ways of managing that like difficulty. Like, for example, I have there's probably a technical word for this, but it's because I imagined this in various scenes that I wanted. Well, first I was like, when I was coming up with the idea, I was like, I have all of these scenes that I want to get into the story, but then, you know, I had to cut some of it, but and pick the things that made most sense thematically and whatnot. This idea has been reworked so many times, it's terrible. But this is the final time, and I'm not doing it again, or like, you know, trying to change it anymore. But yeah, so yeah, scenes, ideas with the characters and stuff like that. Maybe certain things that I want them to say for the dialogue. Yeah, and then from there, my God, so I took these little like images in my head of moments and stuff like that, because it was a comic before, and oh my God, then I realized, a lot of stuff happened. But the key thing is it was a comic, and I redid the comic probably 3 times because I'm literally insane. It's like a toxic relationship I have with this story. But yeah, so took it from being a comic, and then I finally got to a point in my life where, God, it's such a big story. I really have to organize this, but I'm practicing off the cuff. Okay, so it was a graphic novel or comic. series of comics that I redid at least 3 times. And then I decided later in life, because I've been sadly working on this since I was like in high school and now I'm almost 30. So you can do the mathematics there. Yeah, so it's now it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna die before I do this, turn this into a comic or graphic novel, whatever. So it's gonna be a book. But then I was like, shit, I have to learn how to write. Oh no. So I tried to do some writing classes and other things that were related to, you know, coming up with stories and whatnot. And that definitely helped. So I finally got to this point. I did even just trying to figure out like how to go about writing a book took me years, really, and just trying to figure out the story, figure out what's going to happen. Why is it going to happen? Yeah, first it was like doing a write through, like, okay, here's my characters, maybe culling some characters that I couldn't figure out how to put in the story because it didn't fit somehow. And then I took them and turned them into what they had to be for it to all kind of, for the different puzzle pieces to connect and for everyone to kind of help each other in the story, to get towards the end, the big mission, big thing that's going to happen, right? The big event. And then, so yeah, first it was like a process of figuring out the characters, then writing like what is going to happen here, what is going to happen there, and then continuing on throughout it. So more doing a summary first of the events that are going to occur. And then after that, like a summary of the events, and also doing like rationale for why characters acting like this, like trying to understand their psychology a bit more. And what's lying behind their motives and everything, and how come they do the certain behaviors that they do, and then, you know, so just trying to work out all that, and how those character flaws push the narrative forward, because they're making certain decisions that maybe, you know, a more regular person wouldn't do, but because, you know, like maybe one of them is like an artist, so kind of got very fluctuating emotions and whatnot, and then the other one's more of like the straight man, like you know, rules and regulations and structure and whatnot. So like just trying to understand how they're going to work with each other, and why, and the reasoning, and then what's going to happen. So yeah, that's the first step that I took. And then and that also included some ideas like, what are they going to say to each other, blah, 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 blah. Like, what is the purpose of this relationship? What are they working towards? How much information is going to be released in each part? Oh, it was a real nightmare, but it has been tormenting me for my whole life, basically. But yeah, so then it came to the point where I had to then go and actually write the thing. So actually going through it, like, okay, imagining I'm there. So the little synopsis, like what's happening. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, now I'm there. I'm writing it. I am that character. It's coming out. And we're moving through the timeline sequentially. So just moving forward through the whole thing. And just, yeah, moving through the story with all of that information in mind. That's what I found helped me, because I had to, you know, I couldn't just stop working and totally like devote my whole life to this. No, I've been living overseas and stuff, so I've kind of been coming back to it, and kind of adding to it, and, you know, finishing it off as time has been passing across the last few years. It really kicked into gear my first year or so when I moved to New York, which was like, that was like 5-6 years ago or something. But yeah, and then I've gotten it to this point. So yeah, then I went through and wrote everything out, like with the dialogue and everything. And then ChatGTP came out and I was like, God wants me to write this story. Like, anyways, yeah. So it like helped me do the next part, which is the you know, checking the grammar. So kind of like use it as my editor and make me sound a little bit more coherent. As you can probably tell, I'm not very good at explaining myself or what I love to do. So it's taken me a long time to even get to the point where I'm okay to be on the camera and talk about stuff. So I gotta pat myself on the back there, I guess. But anyways, so then I did that, and yep, then that was like the write through, and now I've finished the read through, and now I'm doing the organization of like the dates and times. I mean, when I was putting it together, I was thinking, okay, I know this part here is moving forward in this way, and then this other part here between these two characters is moving forward in this type of way, and you know, having to now this is, and then I had to figure out how they're going to intersect, like scene wise, like while you're kind of like how you might watch a TV show or something like that. That's kind of how I imagine things in my head, like fast forward here and then reverse here, and then you're just trying to, you know, piece it all together like a puzzle. Like where would, like, you know, right after this scene, then this scene should happen, and trying to make it flow in a way where I think it will be working for the reader and understandable and everything. But yeah, so now is doing the more official part of deciding on, okay, this location is called this and it's called that throughout the whole time. Because the way I've done it is I kind of do a little location and timestamp, and I copied that writing convention from a book that I was studying. I actually have it here because I referred to it. This one here, Mary Burton Burn You Twice. Ooh, I picked it because it has a similar theme to it as what I'm like, you know, the theme of fire. My book's called Pyro. I was like, I need ideas. I did not copy this book. Trust me, it's super different. If anything, it's based off of my life in New York. But yeah, but I like the way this writer, I like how for scenes, hopefully it's okay, I can show you this very quickly. It's not going to be copyright. But yeah, she uses little stars like that to mark her points, dividing the scenes up. So I liked that. And I also liked how she, at the beginning of each chapter, she does a little like location and timestamp. But yeah, and I can probably show you this quickly. Oh my God. I'm very disorganized. Is this going to be flipped? You get the idea, okay? But yeah. So, yep, that's what I did. That's how you know where you are in the story. And like, oh, and another thing that I did is, oh damn, I wish I could flip the camera, but I don't know how this is gonna look, but okay, so I'm not done, but this is 2022. That was my last year in New York. But yeah, so that's when the book is set in, and so that kind of gives it like a time and a place. It takes place across a year, and so I'm using my old little book here to like kind of figure out that what the dates are and what the times could be, like what makes sense for the scene, because as I was writing it, I kept it time ambiguous so I could figure this part out later, because sometimes it just feels like, you know, I didn't want to be constricted by like, oh my God, this as I'm writing it, like it happens at this point. Like I just needed the scene to happen when it felt like it would happen. That might sound a little weird and specific, but that's just how I do it. So anyways, yeah, so this has been really helpful. And then I also have this here. Maybe I can do some kind of screen sharing thing with OBS later. But yeah, so what I've done is I then made myself this little legend almost. Do you like how I professionally set up my light here? But yeah, so I've just got this thing here. So I split it up into 2 parts because the book I have in 2 parts. But yeah, timeline cleanup, that's what I call it. So we have scene here, location, date, time, and summary notes if there's anything I had to write. So this is just like making sure that everything's consistent and continuity is working for like the way I've written everything out, like the addresses and locations. I wanted to be very autistically detailed where everything has happened, because it kind of helped me. Well, because for me, it's like some of these places have some significance. But yeah, so it's that's something that I'm trying to do, and yeah. What else can I say? Yeah, so just getting the dates and times and all that sorted out. It's, oh God. Oh, it's so hard for my brain, honestly, but I'm getting there. I think I can do it. I can do it before the 5th, which is when I go to Japan. So I'm very excited. And yeah, and then after I finish this, I want to try and keep uploading more sketchbook tours, because I have a lot more sketchbooks. I brought them from Australia, so I'm gonna get through those. But yeah, so I think that's all I'll say for now. I mean, oh, okay, look, I'm home alone at the moment. So I'm kind of just having a good time here. No, where do I have my comics? Oh, here we go. Okay. But yeah, I want to go through this more thoroughly at some point, because it's a lot to get through. I think this is the 3rd time I did. This is the 2nd time. Or was it the 2nd time? Shit, I did this. Oh my God. The amount of times I remade this thing. Not good. But yeah, so this is like the really, really old. No, actually, this isn't even the oldest one. Oh my God. No. I have to do a whole explanation of the amount of times that I redid this. But I like this cover. This is like my favorite. This is the last one that I did, the last version of this story. But yeah, this art style is very Glenn Farby, I think. I liked Preacher. I thought that style was really cool because it was like very gritty and realistic, and that's what I was into. And I guess I kind of like that still, you know. And then I was trying to do like a kind of noir thing on the inside. But yeah, I feel like I need to do a better dedicated video to explaining all this chaos, and how I put, and then I could do a lot more videos on how I organized it into a story. I guess I could quickly say that with this book that I've written, I kind of took off from these, like I changed it a bit, but I basically took off from part 1, but changed like the beginning a bit and everything to be more like The Sopranos. Anyways, because I watched The Sopranos for the first time in New York, so I kind of wanted to make it more like a kind of female Tony Soprano type character. I don't know, it felt more, once I was there I was like, oh, that kind of fits the vibe more, I think, and makes it feel a bit more realistic. But yeah. And then this is the second part, and then yeah, the second part I turned into writing as well, but changed some parts of it to make it all more cohesive. So hopefully the book makes some sense after all that effort. Jeez. But yeah, so yeah, I'll do that as a separate video some other time. And then I don't know what else I can talk to you about now. I think I'm done for now. But yeah, this is sad. Maybe one day I'll get a hamster again, but hamsters weren't working in Singapore. So they only work in they work in New York, but not in Singapore. I think it's just too hot for them to survive. But yeah, okay, well, that's that. Okay, goodbye. That's enough. See ya.